Nisqually John Landing, and Little Goose Dam. Officials say the river water is now safe.
Something else is in the air, and it's not just the chilly weather. Our reporter Brooke has more on these winged visitors.
You may have noticed swarms of tiny, mysterious blue insects flying around outside.
Some people call them woolly ash aphids, other people call them smoky-winged ash aphids.
Woolly ash aphids are small sap-sucking insects that feed on different plants. And while some aphids are agricultural pests, others aren't really an issue.
They're kind of a nuisance in that, like, yeah, you'll breathe them in, you'll swallow some. It's not really risky to do that. We eat lots of bug bits in all of our food without knowing it.
Riley Reed is a PhD candidate in the honeybee program at WSU. He says the type we're seeing most often are mostly harmless.
You know, to your average person, they don't pose any risk. They're just kind of sticky.
So why do they seem to appear in such high volumes around the same time each year?
These ones spend most of the summer feeding on the roots of fir trees. Around this time of year, they're migrating back to their primary hosts, which are ash trees.
The swarms you see are working to mate before the females head to the ash trees to lay eggs before dying off in the winter.
At this point in the year is when their population is at its highest, so we're going to see a lot of them as they're moving around.
Those eggs will make it through the winter, and in the spring, they'll hatch out into females that will repeat the process. You may have also noticed some of the bugs catching onto your clothes or your skin.
They stay in the same general area. They're not very strong flyers, so they rely somewhat on wind to carry them, but they're not going to move necessarily great distances. They're going to go, between the closest trees they can find.
And the species also have an unexpected companion.
Ants and aphids, they have a kind of a cool relationship where ants farm aphids. So aphids give them honey too. In exchange, ants will protect them.
Any bug bigger than an aphid wants to eat the aphids. They're an easy food source, but the ants will protect them and chase off like ladybugs. In exchange, they get the aphid, essentially their feces. Their main excretion is honeydew, which is basically sugar water.
The numbers we see depend on the weather each year, but it really boils down to how healthy their tree hosts are. So once the winter weather rolls in, they know it's time to move on.
Thanks, Brooke.